So, I just want to say, man, any of them motherfuckers out there that are trying to blame me for the past failed relationships, I ain't done nothing wrong. I never forced nobody to love me. I never came in anyone's life and forced them to be with me, though. Again, when these women chose other men over me, by always talking to these other men, making the effort to talk to these other men, right? It doesn't ever occur to you that I have social anxiety to the point where I can't even talk to some people, right? It's not that I didn't want to talk to people. I tried, okay? I tried to talk to her one last time before she completely ignored me. She was looking the other way, all right? She was at the table. She chose to sit right next to me the last day I was with her, the Last Supper. Guess what happened? I tried to talk to her. I told her, I asked her, how did you sleep last night? She didn't even ask. She didn't ask me how I slept. She didn't say nothing to me. I finished her sentence for her. I was like, I said this. I read her mind. I was like, I could see that she wasn't sleeping good. And I said, my night I wasn't able to sleep last night, and you probably weren't either. And that's really all I got to say to her. And I'm like, I tried to say something else. I tried to say something else, but I couldn't. I couldn't say much else besides that, because she wasn't even trying to talk to me. She was looking the other way. I asked her how her night, how she was able to sleep. She wasn't saying anything. I told her exactly what was on my mind, that I couldn't sleep because I had insomnia. She didn't tell me anything. I had to just figure it out myself that she wasn't sleeping good either. None of the people was really, though. They was trying to sleep, but it was really hard for them. And then she revealed the last words she got to say that I heard from her, that they didn't even allow me to be around her. In the moment she was crying, though, the people at the mental hospital didn't even allow me to talk to her, because they told me to get away from her. They literally told me, like, when she started crying and I wanted to comfort her, what did they do? They told me, get away from her. Get away from her. And nobody even talked to her in that moment. None of the mental hospital people talked to her to comfort her. She had to be alone crying to herself. She went to her room crying because they wouldn't even allow me to hug her. They didn't allow me to talk to her, to comfort her. And so I just did. I did everything they said so I would get out of there, because otherwise they would have punished me. If I even did anything to be supportive of anyone, they would have punished me and kept me in there. So I couldn't even be supportive to the people who actually meant something to me. Samantha, she meant a lot to me. And now I can't even think about her no more, because if I do, I'll be back in the same past where I'm trying to go back and trying to change things, and I can't change that. I can't change the past, okay? It was not my fault. Therefore, I don't have to be sorry that I did anything, because they didn't even allow me to talk to her. In the last moment, I could have talked to her. I mean, there was one other moment I could have talked to her. But that moment, I was feeling happy, and I didn't want to ruin it, right? I felt happy in that moment. When I was dancing with that black dude who was basically, he was teaching me how to dance. He was teaching me boxing. I wish I could remember his name, dude. I don't even remember if I asked his name or not, dude. But he had dreads. He liked Bob Marley. We was dancing together. He taught me how to box, and I'm going to learn more just because of him. That dude right there was one of my main inspirations for dancing nowadays. Like, nowadays, when I think about dancing, I'm going to dance because of him, man. But he tried to talk to me. He actually tried to be my friend. I actually honor him as one of my friends if I ever see him again. Even if I don't see him again, he's still my friend. So, and there's other black dude I was talking to. I'm trying to remember what his name was. It's like I'm so bad at remembering names, dude. That's one thing I'm really bad at, dude. But I just know who they are as a person. I may not remember their names, but I remember who they were as a person, their character. And that speaks more to me than just a name anyways, is their character. That dude I was talking to, he liked wearing red shirts. He was into Dragon Ball Z, right? He like sit in the corner, and I would talk to him. That guy also really was my friend. He was my friend, you know. So when people say like, "Well, I don't have no black friends," dude, I had plenty of black friends when I was in there, though. Those are the only people who ever talked to me, though, was black people, man. So if anyone wants to say I'm racist, how come I talk to black people more than I talk to white people, man? White people are the ones that don't talk to me. White people are always ones that judging me. It's always the white people. And that's why if anyone wants to say I'm racist, how am I racist, though? I mean, I talk to all races, okay? I even talk to the white people. But again, those are the same people that started isolating me, though. The white people. the Gentiles, right? And all the motherfucking people that were actually not my race were the ones who actually got along with me more often than not. Like I said, that dude that was dancing with me, though, if I could just remember his name, I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, what was it? Yeah, he was from Africa. I think he was from Africa, like some place in Africa. Cause he liked Bob Marley music. He was into, like I said, MMA. He taught me, like I said, how to punch right. And I'm gonna do some more videos because he taught me about you gotta put your guards up. And I'm still working at that because it's hard for me to do that. I got used to putting my guards down because a lot of dancing has to do with like different angles of putting your arms in. You know what I'm saying? Because you use arm movements in dancing, right? But you know, having your guards up, you kind of have to do when you're fighting. So he taught me about that. But I employ a lot of different things when it comes to dancing, though. Like I said, when it comes to dancing, like I said, you can still dodge. You know what I'm saying? And dodging means you don't necessarily even have to have your guards up. I learned that from this one fighter named Venata, who I really wanted to see do good in the MMA, but I don't know what happened to him. But he taught me about dodging, that you don't always have to have your guards up as long as you can dodge stuff. Because if you're dodging, you don't need your guards up. You're not using your guards anyways. So, but he taught me more about like if I was gonna use my guards to keep my guards up, and then he taught me about how to punch correctly, to put your fist all the way out, not like he wanted. He made me turn it like totally did this angle because it was a little bit sideways, so he corrected that, and so he made it more like straight like this, and that's where you get a lot of that torque action with your punches, is when you fully turn it out. And I just been practicing that while I was in there, dude. Just on a wall, just had a crucifix on the wall, practicing that on the wall, just like I did. And any place I go, I write a crucifix, at least 2 crucifixes on the wall, sometimes 3 for all the weak points of a person that I can strike. Again, and this is only if I have to fight, man. If I have to fight, and I didn't have to fight while I was in there, because nobody tried to fuck with me while I was in there. Nobody tried to fight me, though. As long as nobody's trying to fight me, I'm not gonna fight them. If somebody were to try to lay hands on me, I would have fought them. Just like in the other mental hospitals. I kicked somebody who, in the other mental hospital, like I said, I kicked this dude named Leonard in the balls. And after that, he stopped fucking with me, though. He tried to fuck me a little bit, but I just ignored it after that, though. Because, you know, after he got through that pain, he started forgetting about, you know, what I did to him, though. And he started getting all confident again because all these other people propped him up when he was in there. This dude from Leonard tried to tell me, like, he tried to act like, oh, well, because he got over that shit, because he recovered from that shit, that means somehow he's some warrior because he survived that. No, because I didn't put my full power in my kick. I kicked him just enough to give a lesson to him, dog. Not to fucking kill him, dog. If I really wanted to kill him, I could have. But I didn't, because I didn't want to break the laws of the Bible when it says, thou shalt not kill. But if I really wanted to kill him, I could have. I could have easily killed a person like that if I really put my full force in that. But I only put like 10% of my force in there. So that literally only was to send him a message. And again, he did kind of stay a little bit away from me. He didn't completely stay away from me, But he started to kind of realize, fucking with me was not worth it. And I realized, if I was really trying to hurt him, I could have. And I decided, you know what I'm saying? I'm rather not going to do that because they're going to keep me in the hospital longer the more times I'm violent. And I learned that lesson by being in those mental hospitals. When I am violent or even acting up in any way, what they'll do, this is what they do every time. They send a group of fucking nurses, and then they all team up on me to put a shot in me to get me down. They do that all the time, just like in Silent Hill with the fucking nurses and everything. With the nurses with the needles and shit. The same thing happened in there. Nurses with needles. That's how I know this world is Silent Hill. Because everything in Silent Hill is in real life. You may not see what these demons look like because you don't see who they really are on the inside, but I see what these demons look like. They're people. They're people, and it's not even who you fucking think it is. It's these motherfuckers that, get groups of people on you, dog. They get their whole group of nurses, and maybe they're all trained in jujitsu because I don't know how to do much jujitsu because I haven't been trained in that shit. But I bet they have some training because they were able to get me down with a bunch of fucking people all at once, grab me, put me down. And I try to break free from that. But because I don't have much jujitsu training, because nobody ever wanted to work with me to teach me that, they could get me down. And again, they got enough people that I couldn't even run out of that room, right? There were so many people. They had so many people on me. I bet they had that whole fucking team of nurses, though. All in one person. That's the only reason they were able to beat me and get me in there. If it was a one-on-one fight, I don't think any of those motherfuckers would stand a chance. But they never play fair. They never play fair, dog. That's how these motherfuckers are, these people in charge. They'll get everyone in on you just so they have more power than you. Because, if you get a lot of people on me, you might be able to get me down. But you have to get a lot of people. And that's how much people they had to get me down. I bet there was like 20 people in that fucking room, all fucking pressing down on me. All just watching me and pressing down on me, though, to make sure I couldn't leave that room until I got that shot. And then they forced me in that mental hospital. Again, against my will. And the judge lied to me. He told me I could leave at any time. I couldn't leave at any time. I had to play along with their games. I had to play so good in that game, I had to pretend to be happy right at the end. Right? Because exactly what happened. I chose to be happy in that moment. I faked it till I make it. They tried to tell me, don't fake it till you make it. That's exactly what I had to do, man. I had to put on that smile just to get out of their fucking places, though. Just to get out of their mental hospitals. So I've proven them I have to fake it till I make it. Because if I don't even get out of those mental hospitals. I stay in that place. If I show them any sign of weakness, any sign that I'm not doing fine in the head, like I'm suicidal or violent, they'll keep me in there. So I have to basically say, I'm not going to be violent. And I wasn't, was I? I wasn't even lying. I don't need to get violent. I've already proven I don't. I just got to play along with the narrative so well that they think I'm doing fine. When I have that smile on my face, that lets them know I'm doing fine and they're not fucking with me. And it does. Like I can make jokes right when I came here. When I came here, I could have been sad. I could have been mad. But I chose to be happy the first day I got back to my apartment. And I got a little bit sad, when I'm in bed trying to sleep. Of course I'm going to. That's the only time I ever am sad. Is when I'm going to bed and I'm sleeping. But when I get up and I'm doing shit, I don't have time to be sad. Just like monks say, monks don't get sad because we don't have time to get sad. We don't have no distractions anyways to get sad. Because we took on that oath to let go of all attachments. Once we do, there's no reason to be sad. Like when I let go of her that day because she made me let go of her, I was happy. I was happy for the first time in a long time. Because now I didn't care about nobody but myself. I didn't have no earthly attachments. Once I didn't have no earthly attachments, exactly what Yoda said happened to me. I let go of that suffering because attachments lead to suffering. I let go of her that day. And I was happy that last day I was in there. And everyone knew that they wasn't going to bring me down. Like that fucking One Direction song says, ain't nobody going to drag me down. Ain't nobody going to drag me down to their level. Not ever again. Not ever again. You ain't going to see me depressed in bed forever Okay? I might get sad a little bit, but everyone's going to get sad a little bit, but you don't have to be depressed. You can be sad without being depressed. Like I said, you can move on. Everyone can. I've moved on for so many people who have only tried to hurt me. I moved on from Kelly. I'm not talking to that bitch no more because she was bringing me down. And I'm never going to talk to somebody that's bringing me down. I want to rise up with somebody, all right? And if you ain't willing to rise up with me because you ain't willing to train with me, that's on you, though. I ain't going to force nobody to train. But I ain't going to do shit with people who don't want to do shit with me. Like, I can do shit with you. I can play your games with you just as well as you can play them. Some of them games I don't play that good, like them poker games and shit that I don't give a fuck about. It's all about winning money at a casino and bullshit like that. And I don't play those games. I'm not about doing all that shit. I don't care about spades, okay? I'm not playing games with your fucking boyfriend, right? Your fucking boyfriend, yeah. That's your boyfriend. You didn't want me to know that. That was your boyfriend. That was your fucking boyfriend. And you might have been talking to someone on the phone too because you got sad on the phone when somebody told you some kind of thing that I don't know what was being told. But you was told something. You know what? I wanted to be sad in that moment. I wanted to cry for you. But again, I couldn't even cry because I was on risperidone. And I was numb. So I couldn't even feel. The very thing I talk about in the songs that I sing about was exactly what I was predicting though. In that moment, I was numb. And I gave up caring about you because I couldn't. I literally couldn't. Those pills made it so I couldn't even care about you. I couldn't even cry about you. All I could do was be happy on those fucking pills. I could be happy that I wasn't feeling any emotions. I wasn't feeling any emotions except besides the coffee in my system. And the coffee made me happy. I could feel happy because I was drinking coffee, serotonin, dopamine. And it was blocking out all my emotions that you call negative, which is actually just healing, right? They blocked out those emotions. They blocked out the emotions that I could feel when I didn't have those medications in my system, right? When I didn't have that constant supply of both that and the coffee. When I have the coffee, dude, and I'm feeling good on that shit, there ain't nothing going to drag me down to feel anything different, though. Especially when I'm on risperidone. When I have that combination, I'm numb as fuck. It's hard for me to feel any emotions besides happiness, right? Because I got that dopamine, that serotonin, but it doesn't allow me to feel those other emotions. Up until the point where I go to bed, that's the only time I really feel those emotions. And if I'm up and about and doing these dancing things, there's really nothing that can bring me down in that moment. And doing that dancing with that black dude that knows MMA, he taught me to just not give a fuck about anybody but myself and the actual friends that actually do talk to me. Like, he actually made the effort to talk to me because most dudes are willing to actually talk to me. Dudes are cool with me, though. Dudes are actually the ones I like hanging out with because they don't make me feel nervous. They don't make me feel like I got to compete for their attention because they really understand me. All competition is really just making people feel bad about themselves so you'll feel good about yourself. But real fighters don't do that shit. We don't manipulate people's emotions to control them. No. That's not how you win a fight anyways. You just win the fight by being the better man. By walking away when you don't need to fight. Right? And I don't have to fight nobody because I can just walk away and just train myself by myself. I don't need a gym to train. I already got plenty of ways to train. I've proven that. I can train without anyone. Just like I can train basketball without having to play basketball with anyone else. Right? I got 925 hoops one day. Right? Because I was choosing to only work on myself, not waste my energy on anyone else to compete against anyone else. So my record in hoops in the day is 925 hoops. If anyone can beat that, you can say you're better at hoops than me. If you can't, don't ever even say that. Don't even make that claim. It's only Kobe and Michael Jordan can actually make that claim because they were actually doing that every day. Michael Jordan was probably doing at least 1,000 hoops a day. Kobe, probably 500, if not more. Because he said something around 500 was how much he was doing every day. And I try to get that in, like I said, in prison, I was getting that in. In prison, I got in 500 hoops a day. So I was getting in hoops in prison. So when y'all was making fun of me and trying to keep me up in there, that just kept me up awake longer so I can get my records in. So every time you kept me awake, you was really helping me to stay awake longer so I can get my records in. And I got 2,000 push-ups done in one day in that psych ops place, and 2,000 sit-ups in one day. Think about how much I was doing while I was in there when you was making fun of me and taking all these psych ops meds, forcing me to take that shit. You forced me to take that night. Those fucking risperidone, Halidol, Vistaril, and one fucking concoction, you put that in. I seen the pills. I seen 3 different pills. You gave me Vistaril. There's these blue pills, right? Then you gave me, what was the other one? Halidol. Halidol looking like another, like it's like a yellowish pill. Sometimes it can look like a blue pill or like a green pill. It might have been a green pill. Yeah, it was a green pill. So you gave me a green pill. You gave me 2 blue pills, which was Vistaril. So Vistaril, Halidol, and then you gave me risperidone. You gave me 3 pills in one cup. I took all of it. And that wasn't enough to put me down. That was not enough to put me down. I could not sleep even on that shit. So every time you say, take your pills, you'll be able to sleep on it. No. Because when I take that shit, what does it do? Sometimes I don't even sleep. When I'm ready to sleep, then I can sleep. Like after I stayed awake for 3 days, like that's how much I can able to stay up. 3 days, then I can sleep. And last night I was able to sleep because I stayed awake for 3 fucking days in that mental hospital. 3 days I stayed up. Then after that, after I burned off all that energy, I was able to finally sleep. And I had one of the best nights of sleep ever. And I didn't have any nightmares for the first time. No jealousy dreams. Just wandering in the wilderness by myself with God. I wasn't in it with anyone in my dreams. No. I was by myself with God, who I'm supposed to be with the rest of my life. You know, wandering the wilderness with God, searching the world. Not for somebody, but for myself. Myself is the most important person I need to pursue. And I'm searching the world just to find myself. Find myself. That's all I'm trying to find. And it's not in the world, really. It's in its dreams that I have, yes. Because I'm being the person who I really was meant to be by following my dreams. By following my dreams, that's where I'm really finding myself. That's where I'm searching myself, searching my heart, cleaning my heart out, healing myself by choosing to be by myself and protect my peace over drama that you keep dragging me into through your court system, trying to make me go back to mental hospitals. Every time you do that, you just prove to me how little I need you and how much you need me just to keep going on your fucking miserable lives. But you can do that shit without me if you're so goddamn strong as you say you are. Because all you want to act like you're so damn strong. How come I never see you ever train with me, though? And I give you the chance to do that shit, to prove that you're better than me. This one dude who was always talking to girls and getting them to like him and hug him, right? You know what this fucking girl did, Sarah? She hugged him. But when I asked her to hug me, she didn't hug me. So now, when you think who's a cruel person, who's really that narcissist, well, think about it. Who was really the narcissist? The one who was always offering that thing that you mock so much? I was offering to hug you. I was offering to love you. I was offering to give you everything that you say I'm incapable of doing, that I'm just full of hatred. No, I was full of love in that moment when I offered you that hug, and you didn't. You didn't take that, but you hugged this other dude over me. You hugged this other dude who you didn't even like. Just because he showed up at the right moment to make you feel something, though. But you chose this other weak motherfucker over me, though. And you always did. You always chose weak fucking men over someone who's actually strong. Because you know what I did with this dude? He tried to fucking say he's better than me, though. Try to say he could do more push-ups than me, dog. Guess what? I did a push-up competition with him, dog. I did 60 fucking push-ups in a row. He wasn't even able to do any push-ups on the ground, so he had to do them on the fucking wall. He did only 21 on the wall, not even on the ground. So he did the easiest fucking push-ups possible because he couldn't even do one push-up on the ground. He tried to blame it because his pants was falling down and all that shit, and his fucking shirt was falling off. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit. Because my pants wasn't like totally like not falling off for me, dude. But I still did that shit. I still did that shit. I didn't make no excuses. When motherfuckers want to challenge me, I didn't make no excuses. They tried to challenge me to arm wrestling competition. Guess what I did? I took him on with that shit. I took him on to that shit, and he couldn't beat me, dog. He couldn't beat me. He tried to use both his hands just to beat me, and I still beat him. So anyone wants to say they're better than me, why don't you do that shit? Just prove it to me, though. Prove that you can do more push-ups than me. Prove that you can beat me in an arm wrestling competition. And most of the times, whenever I do that shit, nobody can beat me. Nobody can. Not when they actually try to actually beat me. They can't. They can't actually even try most times. So they don't even try. If you can even try to, and you even attempt, then you can maybe say that you did something, right? At least if you attempt, I'll give you some credit. And I gave him credit right after he attempted to beat me, and he couldn't. I gave him credit for those 21 push-ups he did on the wall and said, congratulations, you at least tried. You at least tried to beat me, and you couldn't. I don't mind fighting people if I don't get sent to prison every time. But if all that happens if I get sent to prison and I have to keep paying for just to prove it to you that I'm better than you, then why do I have to keep trying to prove anything to you? Because even when I do prove that I'm better than you, you still don't even acknowledge that shit. You act like I've never fought people. How come I've been to prison if I never fought someone? The whole fucking reason why I went to prison was because I fought people to prove to you that I could fight. And every time I have beat these people. So what the fuck point of trying to beat me is there even in, you know? To try to beat me is to have to cheat, to have to use a taser on me to bring me down. That's the only way you brought me down to prison in the first place. Tasing me was the way you got me down. And you always get these big ass dudes, right? You always get these big ass fucking giants and a bunch of people all at once to get me down. It's never anyone my own size, right? You always got to get me these really big dudes. These dudes that are fucking big because they were born big. They didn't have to work to be big, no. When everyone says they're like tall dudes, what they're really saying is they're like dudes who were just born that way, didn't have to do anything to get that way, and that's the only way they're that way. I had to work for my strength, and I didn't rely on steroids or any of that shit like all these other people. So every time you try to say this and that, just because I make jokes, because I make jokes that I do steroids, I don't actually do steroids. I just make jokes about that because it's funny, because that's what you say. I'm just saying the things that you want to hear to make you happy, to make you laugh, because I'm an entertainer, though. Deep down, I'm an entertainer just like Michael Jackson. And I like when I can make y'all laugh. When I can make y'all laugh. But even when I try to make y'all laugh, what do? You act like I'm weird for trying to make y'all laugh. You act like I'm crazy because I'm laughing at my own jokes and actually having a fun time because I can actually make myself laugh. And I can make myself laugh, just like I can make you bitches laugh. Eventually you crack and you laugh. Even when you try not to laugh, you eventually see how funny I am. And then you realize what you was missing out on. That funny guy that you was looking for, oh, that person was me all along. I'm so funny. I don't even have to try to be. I don't even have to try to be funny, dog. Yeah, I can be talking about the most serious, fucking painful thing imaginable that can happen to a person, and I can make it a joke because it really is a joke to me at this point. I can laugh at it because it is a joke. Seriously, dog. It's a joke, man. My whole life is a joke. And I can smile. I can smile about it. I really can. I can smile so much when I'm going through so much pain. I smile through the pain. See, I smile through the pain. The pain that you caused me, I smile through it. Like when I was jacking off to all y'all, because y'all are so fucking hot. And I'll admit it, though. Y'all want to act like I'm such a woman hater. How come I was saying y'all are beautiful, making you feel good about yourself, complimenting you? And you did. You complimented me for the first time, dog. I finally got my first compliment from you, Samantha. You was the first woman to actually compliment me. When you said, I'm handsome. When you said, I have a beautiful smile. And I'll remember that forever. That at least somebody appreciated me. At least somebody appreciated me at one point when you first met me. But then eventually you stopped appreciating me. Because that last day, I was talking to myself the whole day. Nobody talked to me that whole day, man. Except for that black dude who was dancing with me, dog. And the other black dude that was teaching me how to fight. Those were the only people. So when everybody wants to say I'm racist, how come the only people who were actually my friend when I actually need them were black people? My best friend when I first had a best friend was black. My best friend when I first had a friend was black. And pretty much everyone who really is friends to me are black people. It's never these white people. These white people are always the ones who are always excluding me. But it's always black people that are my friends when I need them. Just like in prison, man. Black people helped me out when I was in prison. This dude was Afro, gave me food, and I thanked him. I looked in his eyes, I thanked him, and I saw him as a real motherfucker. He was a janitor, just like I was, a real motherfucker. He gave me food. And so did this other black dude who showed up right in my prison cell to give me food. He was one of the prisoners there. He gave me food that day, and I thanked him. And the dude that, like I said, the dude that saw me for who I was, Jesus Christ, was a black dude. Not these other dudes that was in prison. The other dudes that were supposedly my disciples didn't even recognize who I was. But that black dude did. If I could remember his name, it might have been Michael, I'm not for certain. But he saw who I was. He saw who I was. He saw who I was, man. And again, this other dude who went by Lucifer, I was even a friend to him. The dude who eventually betrayed me. This Judas dude. He was the spirit of Judas. Guess what I did? I cried for him. I prayed for him. I prayed for my enemies. I cried for my enemies. I saw the fucking hurt he was going through. I saw the pain he was going through. He killed a judge. He was wronged by the system as well. Because these judges don't understand us, man. These judges put us in prison, make us their slaves, man. Don't you know prison is like being in slavery, dog? Don't you know that I've been in so many prisons? Not just the ones that you think are prisons, dude, but the ones that can be prisons for your fucking mind, man. They put me in these prisons that were called mental hospitals my whole life and called me insane, man. And then I went to actual prison, and it was terrible. But it wasn't like it was not as bad as these mental hospitals. These mental hospitals are just as bad, dude. And either way, I had to go through it. I had to go from one prison to another. Whether or not it was actual prison or going into these mental hospitals, it all was a prison. It all was a prison. They always taking away my rights. They was always doing shit to hurt me, to make my life suffering. Then I found the joy in that suffering by not giving a fuck about anyone but myself, because I can't afford to care about people the rest of my life that put so many people above me when all they do is step on me when I put them above me. I was willing to do that just to be that servant for them, just to be the loving servant that I am. But I can't keep showing up for people who don't want to even respect me for who I am. When I just need them to be that loving person for me, because I'm willing to be that loving person for them if they ever show me the same. But when you can't even show me the same love I show you, when I need you to show me that love, when I need you to show it for me and tell me that you love me, that's the only words I want to hear from you. When I feel sad, all I want to hear is I love you and a hug. That's all I ever wanted. I would have settled for just that. That's all I ever wanted. And everyone else got hugs when they were in there. All these other families hugging each other. All these other people, like I said, the nurses hugging each other. And then you hugging that other dude over me. That day that you was sitting in the chairs next to each other, Sarah and this other dude. This dude who goes by the name Johnson or something. JJ was his name. Yeah. This dude talked to more women than me. And they didn't even like him. They just talked to him because they felt bad for him. They liked me, but they didn't want to show it. They didn't want to show it. She actually liked me at one point. Both Sarah and Samantha. And so does this fat chick that I was talking to. I was playing Uno with them. I played Uno with this other dude who had blonde hair. It was short. He was going to UK college as a nurse himself. Not a nurse. It was like some kind of scientist. Maybe was a biochemist. I don't know. It was some kind of science field he was in. But either way, it was like something to do with that. And I talked to them. And I got to know them. I got to know this girl named Chloe who had a lot of anxiety. She was dealing with so much anxiety she would shake. And I taught her that anxiety is just wasted energy. Because I had to use all that anxiety that they put on me to make myself do 2,000 push-ups in one day and 2,000 sit-ups when I couldn't sleep. And these were push-ups with my hands to the side like this. So these were harder than the regular push-up. These were like pseudo-plunge push-ups. So I was basically doing that the whole time I was in there. And doing handstand push-ups and all kinds of plunge push-ups. I call them clockwork push-ups. And I was basically doing everything that I do on YouTube in there. Dancing, doing hoops training, doing 100 hoops a day, reading 10 pages of Bible a day. And I learned everything I need to learn in those places about the cruelty of humanity and that I can't trust hardly anyone. Not with my heart, not with my soul, not with my mind, not with my mind either. My mind is very precious, man. And if I have anyone in my life, I don't want them feeding me lies, man, and acting like they're feeding me truth, man. Because I can tell the difference between lies and truth now. I'm so good at it. I can tell a liar from a truth teller. And they gave themselves away easily because they lie about everything. They lie about everything they do. When they told me they're only going to give me, meds at nighttime, and then they give me meds in the daytime, so they make me numb, and I can't feel anything. I can't cry, and then I can't empathize with the girl that I love. Yeah, I see that shit. I see every time you lie to me. You told me that day you wasn't going to give me pills in the daytime. But when I started feeling bad because nobody was talking to me, and then you gave me those pills, then I finally was happy. Because I didn't feel any emotions besides happiness from that fucking coffee I was drinking. And that coffee, I can't thank you enough for helping me to be happy. To learn that I only need coffee and weed to be happy. Drugs. That's all I need to be happy. You taught me all I need to be happy is drugs. So now all I do is I do the same thing you wanted me to do. Drugs. So thank you. You helped me to be happy. Now I don't need you to be happy. I got drugs to be happy. And drugs do a way better job of making me happy anyways. It doesn't come with all the fucking strings attached to it. It doesn't come with my heart being pulled out of my chest with the strings the strings you attach to me. And if you really think about it, dog, every time I've learned this shit, I've become way happier with my life. Every time I learn I don't need anything to be happy besides drugs, I learn how to be actually happy. Because I don't have anyone around me to tell me that I'm not beautiful, that I'm ugly, that I'm fat, that I'm never not good enough, right? When I don't have anyone telling me that, how did I get those thoughts in my head? I can't get those thoughts in my head then. If I'm only talking to God and God's the only one telling me that I am worth it, right? That I am beautiful, that I don't need anybody to be happy, that I just need God. When I have that person around me, and I'm not talking to anyone that's making me feel bad about myself all the time and bullying me, guess what? I can't actually be happy. When I have constant people making me feel like I'm not good enough and I have to be jealous because they have everything I don't have, if I have that around me all the time, who wouldn't get jealous? When you're even having jealousy nightmares every time you fall asleep, and you're being woken up by nurses every time you fall asleep. They did that the last fucking time I was trying to fall asleep, and then I stopped even trying to fall asleep because they woke me up as soon as I fell asleep with their fucking vital check. I caught the pattern, though. They didn't even want me to sleep, so I didn't. And then I used that night to be able to break my fucking record. Because of that, because they kept me up, that very day I kept that wake cycle going, and I was able to get to 2,000 push-ups and 2,000 sit-ups. And I was doing it the hard way. I was doing sit-ups into push-ups, basically that whole night, dude. The very thing I invented, the combination I invented that I see nobody be able to do in the mental hospital. Nobody was able to have that much core strength to be able to do that shit. Most people didn't even try. They didn't even try to do sit-ups. They at least tried to do push-ups. At least one person did. And I at least give him the respect that he tried to do that. Because he at least tried to beat me. And again, he couldn't. Just like any of these other people who try to beat me. They can't beat me at what I'm really good at, which is push-ups. So they try to beat me in other things. They try to beat me in social competitions. How well they can talk to people. And that's the only way they can beat me. Because I don't talk to people that often. I talk to myself. And I'm used to talking to myself. But I can talk a lot to myself. Way more than them. I could be alone longer than anyone else. I can be alone longer than anyone else. Those motherfuckers couldn't stay in their room at all if they really wanted to. I had to stay in my room for 3 days when I was in the mental hospital. Another tomb process, right? That was a tomb process. That's what I call. I was in that fucking room, dead to everyone else, because nobody came to check on me. Except the only person that came out and checked on me was one of the chosen ones. A nurse. Not a nurse. He is a pastor. He's a pastor. This pastor that worked there came to check on me. He was the one to ask me how I was doing and to see Jesus in me. He confirmed everything I needed to know about myself. Not that I was Jesus, but the fact that I lived a life just like Jesus. I didn't have to tell him I'm Jesus for him to realize that. I bet he realizes right now who I really was. And the very person he was looking for to save him was the very person that I was in that moment. I listened to him when he told me about himself, about the fact that he deals with similar things as me. He deals with a lot of people hating on him too. And I saw that. He didn't have to tell me everything for me to know that a lot of people like me and him go through a lot of hatred from other people who don't understand people like us. People like us go around being the good people, helping everyone else, and never getting anything in return. That's how good people get treated in this world. We get treated like we're the problem because we want to be good people, and everyone else wants to be bad people. Well, guess what? That's exactly why we don't want to be a part of your world. Why we don't want to show up for fake-ass motherfuckers that only want us dead. You want me to kill myself. That's why you take everything away from me that can make me happy so that I'll be depressed and then I'll try to kill myself with your pills. That's your whole strategy. You've done that in a lot of people. Why do you think there's so much people killing themselves with fucking pills? Why do you think there's opiate addictions and opiate epidemics, opium, right? Opium, opiates. You feed us opiates, painkillers, meds, all just so we can kill ourselves with that shit, right? Because you cause all our pain. So guess what we end up trying to do with the very things that are supposed to take away our pain? We try to kill ourselves with those things, right? Who gets into heroin, right? People who are on opiates, the very things you give to us people, opiates, depressants in the form of fucking making us feel, lower energy so we can sleep, so we can be at this normal mood, right? What I call indifference. Now I realize what it is. You wanted me to be indifferent, not feel any emotion. So I did. I was indifferent. But not only that, I was actually happy. I was actually happy that day. I was making jokes the whole damn day, laughing at my own jokes, having a great time dancing, and not giving a fuck about anyone but myself. In that moment, I was able to get out of that place because they couldn't fuck with me anymore. And they realized it. Once they realized they couldn't fuck with me anymore, they were like, you know what? It's pointless trying to fuck with him. You should just let him go. Let him be in his tomb by himself, because that's where I am. I'm in that tomb. I'm dead to this world, but at least I'm happy. And my spirit's already ascended past that tomb. That grave you buried me in is the very place I make the most training, the most progress. And like I said, if anyone ever wanted to unroll that stone and find me in there, they'd find me doing the same thing I've always been doing training. And I'm never going to stop doing that, no matter what you fucking do to me. You can put me in prison again and I'll still be training, because you can't stop me from training. You can't stop me from doing that. Even if you put me in handcuffs, I'll be able to train with those handcuffs by doing overcoming isometric training, the very thing I was doing in these places. When you was mocking me because I knew how to do advanced kind of meditation that you didn't know how to do, yeah, I was doing all that shit. This whole pressure point system, dog, you can do that shit. I'm going to teach you a little bit move out that I've learned to do when they make me stay still. I work on this. Overcoming isometric training, dog. Pushing against an immovable objects recruits 100% of your muscles. See how flexed that is? And then sucking your chest when you're breathing in. You can do both different ways. You can go out and then go in when you're going out. And that's something I even learned from Kelly. See, I learned even from my enemies, though. I learned mostly from my enemies. So thank you, enemies, for teaching me all your strategies, everything that you mock me now for having. It's all been taught to me by you, the very people that sent to destroy me. And this is another one. This is doing pull force. The other one is push force. It's pull against an immovable object while doing these breathing exercises. So you can do it both different ways with the diaphragm. You can let it out when you let out your stomach, or you can do it the other way. You can do it reverse ways, but either way, that's how you do it. So anyone wants to fucking act like I don't understand the very meditation that you teach, I understand all that shit. I was meditating the last day that I was there with this other dude. Don't blame me for not knowing names and shit, okay? I rarely ever remember names, man, because names are not that important to me, though. I still did remember Samantha though. I remember her name because she was important enough for me to remember her name. And again, I'm not saying that that if I didn't remember your name, you weren't important. Yes, you were, but I remember more about actions than names. Just like you can name me whatever you want to name me. You can name me Ryan or you can name me Jesus, but it doesn't matter what you name me. It matters about who I am as a person, who I am as an action, right? Those actions are what define you, man. When all you do is bad shit, you're going to be a bad person, all right? Because you're doing bad shit to people. You're hurting people like me, and you're hurting innocent people. That's what defines you, those actions, man. Not the words you speak, not your name. None of that shit matters to me. I remember who are good people and who are bad people. That's who I choose to remember, man. And I will remember the ones who also did bad shit to me. Don't get me wrong. I don't remember you. It's not that I don't remember you. I'd rather not focus on the bad shit anymore. All right? And you taught me that. Don't focus on the negative. So instead, what I do now is I focus on what I can control. I accept the past because that's something I couldn't control. And I let it go. I release it. In Jesus' name, amen. And I decide I'm going to work on the one person that I can actually control, myself. I suggest you do the same thing. If you're watching this video right now and you got this point of video, this is the whole message of my story. Is if I can survive this shit, you can too. And there ain't no excuse. Since I did this shit by myself with no support system, not even one person telling me when I got back to YouTube, oh, I'm on your side. I'm on your side in the YouTube comments. I'm on your side. I'm going to be there to stand with you. No, nobody did that shit. Nobody even offered me any support again. Yet I showed up again for you because I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to help anyone as long as you show up for me. But this isn't even not about you. This is about me documenting more evidence against the ones who hurt me. And all this shit has been evidence of the fact that you was cruel and I wasn't. That's what I've been documenting in my videos. I've been showing you who the real motherfucker is, who the real Jesus Christ is. Not the motherfucker you paint in your fucking images. Not some guy with fucking, brown hair, blue eyes, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that shit. That's not who Jesus Christ is, though. Maybe if that was, the old Jesus Christ, maybe you could say that, but the Jesus Christ that now exists is not that. And this is who I am. I'm Jesus Christ. All right? You can say whatever you want, that there's someone better. But who have I proven through my actions? Who have I proven through my actions through actually studying the Bible, actually following the Bible? Who have I proven myself to be? Who else has done all this fucking work for God and got nothing in return from this world? Think about it. Who else has done all that shit? Who else would do all this shit for nothing? That's what I really want to ask. Who else would do all the shit I've done for nothing in return? Nobody else besides me, Jesus. And I showed up for you so many times. I made that choice to go to the mental hospital. They gave me the choice. Whether or not I want to go back home or go to the mental hospital. I chose to save you. I chose to go to that mental hospital so I could save more lost souls. But what did I find? A bunch of ungrateful people who only appreciate you when you're gone. Just like every time I leave. That's the only time anyone appreciates me. Not when I actually show up for people. No. Only when I'm gone. Only when you think I'm dead. That's the only time you ever appreciate me. When you think I can't hear your words. I can hear everything you say, though. I can hear the times you were supportive. I can hear the times you was only negative. And you called me negative Nancy. Y'all wasn't negative Nancy. You was always judging other people. I wasn't judging you. I never judged any of these fat women that were around me. I never called them whales until the end when I had no choice because I was so fucking tired of all these people treating me like shit. And I decided I was going to make some of my own jokes. And they wasn't laughing then because they seen I was actually the one that was funny all along. I can make jokes out of all this shit if I really want to. I can really hurt some feelings if I really want to. I can call all you fat bitches whales if I really wanted to, but I didn't. I waited for her to leave the room when I made that joke. Because I wasn't wanting to hurt her feelings, but I wanted to laugh about something. So I made some jokes about some of these whales. Yeah, I can make jokes too. Funny jokes. Funny jokes. Not the kind of shit that you talk about when you make fun of me, though. Nah. When I was laughing that last day, I was really laughing. Not because I'm cruel, but because I deserve to laugh too. Yeah, I do. I deserve to laugh too. I deserve to make fun of the motherfuckers that make fun of me. Because they do. They deserve to get made fun of. For all the fucking cruel shit they did to me. I'm not sitting there all my damn day laughing at you, okay? I'm not going to spend all my time doing that, all right? I'd rather expose you than move on. I'll expose you for who the fuck you are, just to live in my life unaffected by your bullshit. And that's how I'm going to do to keep moving on, okay? Yeah, man. You thought you brought me down. You thought you brought me down. You really think you brought me down. How come I'm still alive? How come I got up today? How come I chose to smile? How come I chose to be happy and put a smile on my face? And even if I have to fake it till I make it, I'd rather fake it and make it than to not make it at all. So you can say that's a fake laugh. You can say I'm faking about all this shit, that I'm not actually happy. But how come you couldn't force a fucking smile on your face if your fucking life depended on it? I did, and I was able to pass their test that they wasn't affecting me. That's how I got out of the mental hospital, because I showed that they're not affecting me. That all their psychops warfare combined wasn't enough to affect me. Wasn't enough to stop me from doing all those push-ups and keep going on past fucking sleep deprivation, 3 days of not sleeping, and finally sleeping when I got back home and having great dreams where I'm discovering myself rather than wasting my time on your fucking love prison. That's the prison I was in, your love prison. Sacrificing everything to you. Putting myself on a cross for you when I could have just walked off of the cross any fucking time and let you take on the cross your fucking self, because you need to fucking do that shit for yourself if you want to save yourself. I can't show up for motherfuckers constantly who don't even want to do the training I'm doing with me and want to say I'm weak. How come I'm able to do this training then? How come I'm strong enough to do this training, dog, that you wasn't willing to do with me? None of you was willing to do any of that shit with me. None of you was doing push-ups with me. Only one motherfucker at least tried to do that. And he only did it one time and never tried it again. Because once he realized that he couldn't beat me, he never tried to beat me again. That's how I break motherfuckers. That's how I take motherfuckers' souls. Just like David Goggins said. All you got to do is endure the race. And I endured the race, and now I received the crown of life. Like it says in the Bible that you mock. That you now study. Like it's relics of my fucking life. That's what it is. When it says to walk with Jesus, to run the race, that's all because I did it first. And if you just did it with me, you would already be able to survive that shit. But a lot of y'all died trying to walk my path while you had all the support. And I had no support. I walked this road alone with only God. And I can keep walking that road alone with only God, no matter what life takes away from me. Life ain't the real thing I'm looking for. Eternal life is, not this world. Eternal life is immortality. And I survived all that shit. So my life is my sacrifice. My life is my living sacrifice. While I live, I sacrifice. While I live, I sacrifice with my time and my energy, what I decide to put into my life and what I decide to take out of my life. And as long as I do that, I have control over my destiny. Because my destiny is what I make it now. It's not what you make it. If I want to become the best dancer like Michael Jackson, I can do that. If I want to become the best calisthenics athlete I want to become, I can do that. I don't have to waste my time doing shit that you want me to do. Especially if you ain't going to even appreciate me when I do that. Like when I was cleaning up those rooms, when I was doing all the cleaning in the rooms, when you wasn't cleaning my room, and then you finally started doing that yourself and started cleaning my room for me. Yeah, I remember those times. Those times I was doing all the cleaning because nobody wanted to clean my room, so I had to do it myself. And then when I started doing that, everybody started doing that for me then all of a sudden. And then I didn't have to do that. You just started actually doing what I told you to do. And then I appreciated you when you did that. I appreciate all the janitors on this planet. Those were the real motherfuckers. Like that black lady that was doing all the cleaning in another room because nobody wanted to take out the trash. I would have done that if you just let me do that. But you don't even let me clean now. Because you know I do a damn good job of cleaning. I make everyone look bad when I do clean. So you don't want me doing that no more. Huh. So again, don't ever act like I didn't do all this shit for you, though. Don't ever act like I didn't show up all this time, clean all these fucking rooms for you, do all this shit, make you fuck. Like I said, when Ray was living here for free, I was doing all the cleaning. So just realize that. When you try to say, I gotta do all this cleaning, though. How come all the times I was doing all this cleaning when you was laying around sleeping in my place, though? I was doing the cleaning, not you. Just remember that next time you try to tell me to clean. I don't have to waste time doing shit I don't want to do. If I want to clean, I'll clean. If I don't, I will do that. But it's not because you said that shit. Just remember that shit. Because I don't do shit because motherfuckers just tell me, though. I do it because that's the only reasonable thing to do. And the only reasonable thing to do right now is walk away from y'all and not even keep showing up for you. I show up on YouTube and that's about it. I don't show up in people's lives because when I'm in people's lives, they only walk over me. That's all they do. So I don't have to show up in motherfuckers' lives. I can just show up on YouTube because that's the only place I really feel like being on anyways. Because I can show you that I'm able to move past this. And that's my example. That's my living proof that you can move past anything. You can move past all these bitches that try to bring you down. I'm already past this shit. I've already forgiven her. I've forgiven myself. I'm moving past this. And whether or not she wants to show up back in my life is up to her. I'll still keep loving her either way. I don't stop loving. I just show that I can move past that, even if I do love them. Right? Just like what was his name? Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump did the same thing in Forrest Gump, dude. He moved past Jenny. Even though he loved her, he still kept living his life. You can still love people and still keep moving past that hurt that tried to bring you down. Because even though he loved her, he was not going to continue her ways. He was not going to become a bad person just because Jenny was a bad person. Jenny was a bad person. All these bitches were bad people. Don't get that mistaken. Just because I forgave you, that you ain't bad people. Not you, Samantha. You was actually being good in that moment. You chose to cry. But these motherfuckers around me, these nurses that stopped me from showing you support when you needed support, those are the people that are bad people. But you could have showed it that day. Right after crying, and I prayed for you because I wanted you to not have to go through that, you was actually happy right after that. You stopped crying. You was actually happy in that moment when I prayed for you. But instead of coming to me and talking to me and letting me know that you care about me and giving me your number so I could talk to you outside of here, you didn't. You didn't give me your number. And when I asked Sarah for a number, she didn't give me that. So it already conditioned me to break that pattern of not asking for numbers because I never get numbers when I ask for it. So guess what? Sarah taught me not to ask for numbers because that was a pattern. Like I said, I'm a pattern breaker. I'm a divine pattern breaker. When I see something doesn't work, I don't keep repeating that. That's actual insanity. That's actual insanity. Insanity is repeating stuff that doesn't work. And I never do that. I always correct things that don't work. That's how I'm able to do all this fucking basketball. Right? Getting 925 hoops in a day. You don't just get that good at hoops without putting in the work. And you act like I didn't put any of this work into myself. Like the whole time I was in the mental hospital, I was putting in work to myself. I did 100 hoops a day when I was in there. And you didn't even let me do it in the main room. So I went in the back room. I went in my room, in my isolation chamber, and I did those 100 hoops. And I walked so much, I can't even walk on my fucking heels anymore because I fucked up my feet walking so much, doing those hoops. I did marathons while I was in there, walking back and forth. Marathons. The whole fucking time I was in there. Literally marathons of endurance. And the one person that was actually showing appreciation that saw my effort was a black dude with dreads. And he was my real friend. So next time you say I'm racist, just realize I love black people. They're my real friends. The black sheep, man. I love black people. I don't hate black people. And I don't hate Mexicans either. Just because no Mexicans try to be my friend doesn't mean I don't love Mexicans. Doesn't mean I don't love my neighbor. I still love my neighbor. But they don't love me. And that's the truth. They don't love me. Even though I look just like them. I look like a Mexican, but they don't even appreciate me for even looking like them, though. Just because I don't know their language. Because I never had the time to study their language. Because I'm so busy working on myself, I don't have time to study other people's languages if they're not willing to study my language to understand me. And I know the language of suffering. I speak it through actions. I speak it through actions, which is the only real language anyways, actions. Actions speak louder than words. And I prove that through my life, through being the living word of God. The word manifest, the word made flesh. So next time you want to say, I'm not Jesus, think about it. How am I not? And how have you been Jesus when all you do is attack me? How have you not been the Pharisees that put me on the cross? The Jews were Pharisees. They believe in God the Father, yes, but they don't believe in the Son that gives life to the Father. Without me, there would be no Father. Because again, I had to live the life of the Father. The Father lives in me. The Father's reason why I was able to do all this work, and I give that credit to Him because I don't want to get prideful. I don't want to be like you. I'd rather give my Father, the Father in heaven, that creation pride, that saying pride. I take some of that saying pride myself, but I don't take the world's pride. That world pride is not what I want. I don't need to compare myself to feel proud of myself. This pride is the reliance on God, on what God says about me. That kind of pride is real, sane pride. Just like they made fucking shows about me. Goku, that's me. Goku was the person that they wrote about in the very Dragon Ball Z. It was all made about my life. I did all the training that was in Dragon Ball Z. Isolation training. You know what I'm saying? I saw a picture of Goku doing the 4-finger handstand push-up. And then I did that shit myself. I proved that I can actually be him in real life. Don't believe me? Look at my fucking YouTube channel. You try to say you don't have any proof of me doing that shit. When I talked to this guy on Facebook that I could do the 2-thumb handstand push-up, he didn't believe me. But I have proof on my YouTube channel. I even did it in front of a person like Greg, a PsyOps warfare agent, and even he saw it for himself, and he gave me respect for it. He said, I've never seen anyone do that in my life. And then he gave me that respect. And I'll leave you with this word. If you don't want to respect somebody when they're in your life and give them just a basic level of human respect and love, don't expect them to always be around for you, because they won't. Everyone gets tired of being disrespected, including Jesus Christ. And I got tired of being disrespected. So I decided I was just going to walk away. And that was the only reasonable, sane approach to living. And if you call me insane, just realize I'm more sane than you. You bitches are the ones who lost your mind. I found my mind within that insanity that you put me through. And my mind is very beautiful. My mind is beautiful, just like your mind is beautiful. I'm not talking about your body. Your body is just the outside appearance. And anyone can look beautiful on the outside without putting in work in themselves. I've proven that. There's plenty of women that can just cheat the process, right? You can just take Ozempic. You can just take GLP medications. You can just starve yourself and you'll look fucking hot. Just like a lot of these girls. They even admit it to me. They got anorexia, bulimia. They starve themselves. They've proven themselves because they don't even eat their fucking food. They don't even eat their fucking food. They waste their fucking food. While I eat all their food and don't waste any of it. I've never wasted a single bit of food that I've ever gone in my whole life. Because I don't waste food. There are people in Africa starving. My children. the true chosen, the black race. They're the ones who are always starving. They're the ones who've been made slaves by fucking white oppressors, man. These white cops and all these motherfuckers in uniforms. And they enslaved the fucking black race. All because we were different. All because we didn't want to follow their fucking rules. We want to be free. We wanted to play music that actually touched our spirits, man. And they wanted us to be just like them. Not have any identity. Just be a clone of them. And we didn't want to be that way. We want to be like Michael Jackson, dancers, innovators, people like Jimi Hendrix playing guitar. And we did all that shit. We played guitar for them. They didn't respect us when we did that, so we quit playing guitar. And then we embraced a new passion, dancing, just like Michael Jackson. And we did that very good. We even impressed this black dude. He was in the chair. He was playing Uno, and I danced in front of him. He gave me respect. He was like, "Damn, that's a good dance move. I respect that." And then I did the clockwork push-ups in front of him. Then he respected me right afterwards. He respected me right afterwards. And that's all I really need to know. That's all I really need to know. Who my real people are. And it ain't the fucking white people, man. The white people are so damn judgmental. They're the ones who they're the ones who try to make me disgraced, man, for being who I am. But the only motherfuckers who ever respected me were black people. It wasn't just, I'm not saying all black people. Some black people disrespect me. And let's not get this twisted. Some black people disrespect me. But I forgave those people. And I moved past it. I forgave the people who fucking hurt me and chose to not think that all black people are the same. There are a lot of black people that are good. And a lot of the people from Africa, those are people that really respect me. Because that guy that respected me the most was from Africa. He liked Bob Marley's music just like me. And Bob Marley talked all about how they were enslaved the black race. Right? And I listened to his music religiously when I was in high school. And I still listen to his music. Because it's all about empowerment. Empowerment to the black race, to the black sheep. We've been enslaved more than anyone else. And so are the Asian people. The Asian people also be enslaved too, man. Because the Asian people get made fun of more than anyone else. My race gets fucking always excluded from everyone. We're the ones always getting called nerds and being taken out of, have to leave classes because we can't even fit in with those classes. I had to run out of all those classes because I couldn't even be in those classes when I was in high school. I had to run out of all my classes, run in the rain, into this forest. I did it multiple times. I ran out of my classes, ran and did training out in the forest, in the rain. I'd be running in the rain. Just because I couldn't be in their classes. I had to do run, forest, run in real life, dog. Because I couldn't take being in their class, being made fun of them. And like I said, I've been isolated more than anyone on this planet. So if anyone wants to win a competition, try to beat me in how alone you can be, man. How alone you can be when you ain't got nobody else. The only thing I got is this cat and my dad. I don't have no friends. I don't have no girlfriend. But this cat sticks around with me more than anyone else. So I really love my cat. I love my dad. And I don't hate my dad. I know it says in the Bible to hate that. Hate your dad and your mom. But when it says that, that's just the translation of it in Hebrew. What it really means is to not love them more than God. That's what that quote means. It's not about actually hating them. It's just you don't place anyone above God. Just like I can't place women above God. I just can't. Because they're not at his level. God is infinite. God is infinite because creation is infinite. Everything is possible through creation. Not because of being perfect or anything. That's impossible. All right? And that anyone knows that. But life started somewhere. Life had to start somewhere. Just like we all started as a baby. But we were always infinite. We was always infinite to begin with because creation is infinite. Not perfect, but infinite. That means anything is possible in that moment as long as you decide to make that choice, to make that reality happen. And you have that potential to make anything happen. That's what infinity means. To live in infinity means you can break any, limitation. You can break any limitation. Perfect is a limitation. Don't ever place this perfect standard on yourself that you have to be perfect for God to love you. And that's what I taught this other black dude I was talking to, who was in this red shirt, and he was the guy that was talking all about Dragon Ball Z, about martial arts, and got me to train with the other black dude I was with. Those two guys were the ones who I was training with that last day, though. Especially the guy that could dance. He was dancing, man, with me, though, and teaching me martial arts. And so I've learned so much from my actual people, man. And I wish I could remember their name. But like I said, it's going blank right now, the names, man. It's like I work on my memory so much, but I can't remember names. That's my curse, man. I can remember so much else. I can remember numbers. Like I said, when it comes to reps and everything. I remembered all the numbers of the reps that I was doing while I was doing the reps. And I didn't write any of that shit down except for one day. So I can remember numbers really good. I just cannot remember faces, man. Or not faces, but, even faces, because I can't even see that good to remember faces anyways, except if I'm really close. But I'm talking about I can't remember names. That's one thing that's really hard. Unless it's been repeated multiple times. If you only say your name one time, how am I supposed to remember it? See, if you say it multiple times, I get that pattern going on in my head and can remember it, just like with the numbers. The numbers, I can remember them because I repeat them so many times that I can remember them. That's the only way I can remember stuff. So if you want me to remember your name, then you have to repeat it multiple times. You can't just say it one time. Because otherwise, how am I supposed to remember it? I got so much shit I'm already having to memorize, like all the numbers of the reps that I'm doing, and memorizing the Bible, and remembering everything, every pattern that I'm trying to break. Like one of the patterns I had to break when I was in there was the sink would not give out water until I pressed the left side. I was pressing the right side, and when I pressed the right side, I couldn't get water out of it, barely any water. When I pressed the left side, I could get water out of it. So I started to break that pattern by pressing the left side. So it taught me to break patterns when I was in there. And they wouldn't even provide me any fresh clothes when I was in there. They only provided me one pair of clothes. And they didn't provide me any other clothes. So I had to go around being smelly as fuck, even though I was taking showers every day. Because my clothes were smelling from all the sweat and cum on me. Yeah, I smelled like sweat and cum when I was in there. B.O. and cum. All because they couldn't even provide me any clothes that were fresh. So I had to go around being smelly, though, because I couldn't even change my clothes while I was in there. Everyone else could change their clothes because they had other pairs of clothes. They were providing them pairs of clothes. And even then, they had their parents drop them off clothes. My dad couldn't even drop me off clothes. So I could have a pair of clothes that didn't smell. So the whole time, I was going around with the same fucking pair of clothes that I had to wear from the beginning, though, when I changed my pair of clothes when I got in there. Even though I was taking showers every day to try to smell good for them, for all these women, I had to be smelly because they wouldn't give me a fucking fresh pair of clothes. So I basically had to smell like cum because I was jacking off all the time when I was in there just to fall asleep when I'm in there. Because they constantly would tell me, you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep to get out of here. If you get a good night of sleep, we'll let you out of here because you'll be in a good mood. You won't be like stressed out because they wanted me chill, right? So I'd be able to hang out around them. But guess what? I couldn't sleep no matter what they gave me, though. And they kept waking me up the whole damn time. Every time I fall asleep, they'd wake me up. So I got used to just staying up like I've always been used to. And I decided I'm not going to force myself to sleep because when I do, I have to jack off so much. But even that last night, I jacked off one time. The other nights I was jacking up 4 times in a row just to fall asleep, just to honor their fucking bullshit. Because one night I had to do that. I jacked out 4 times in one night. And then I was able to fucking sleep. And that was the only reason I was able to sleep. But after that night, I got so tired of it. Because I got all these jealousy dreams of men waking up with other women and being with all these other women, and I couldn't be with them. And I hated getting those jealousy dreams. So I stopped doing that so I can get my spirituality back. And I found out the less that I do that shit, the more spirituality I had. But the last day, I'm not gonna lie, I did it. I actually did it because I really wanted to sleep. Because I was getting so tired off of the sleep deprivation, dog, that I really wanted to sleep that bad. And so I jacked off the last night. I managed to get it. I managed to get one out. And I was able to sleep. Then they woke me up right after just sleeping for less than an hour of sleep. They woke me up for vitals and I couldn't sleep. So then I stayed up for fucking 3 days. Because I don't count that as sleep. Because if I only got 1 hour of sleep, that ain't really sleeping, man. But I still got through that shit. Like every other time I'm in a mental hospital. Other times I really went without sleep even more than that. There was times I was in mental hospitals where I even went without even more sleep than that, man. Like I said, the other times I was in the mental hospital, I stayed awake for 7 days before off of their sleep deprivation. So they do that shit all the time when I'm in those places. It's not like that's the only time they did it. Like the first time I even went in the mental hospital, I was staying awake for 7 days, dude. And that's how I had all these spiritual things happen to me. Because I was awake so often, dog. When you're awake, you can't miss anything, though. You can't miss what they're doing, right? Like when the times I found out their plots and shit was when I was awake, not when I was asleep. When they thought I was asleep, when I had just woken up, I pretended that I was asleep to get their information on how they were trying to kill me with their pills. When I was in one of their mental hospitals, the second to last time I was in there, they was talking about their plots to give me a pair of meds that would kill me, right? And then they started doing that very thing with their meds, giving me fucking this pair of meds, this 2 combination of meds. One was a stimulant and one was a depressant. And guess what it did? Uppers and downs when they mix causes panic attacks. I started having panic attacks when I was on that. So guess what? That's what they do to me when I'm in there. Don't ever suggest to me go there again. I'm never going back to those places again. So anyways, peace.